All right. It is Sunday, the end of the Colorado Mile. Track shut down about a few hours ago, and just wanted to give a quick update. So, let's see. You saw the previous videos. Friday, went out there, ran very lackluster performance, blew up a Soliton, which is unfortunate because that was a Soliton that I took out of one of my running cars. Um, Saturday, took out the Solitons, put in the Shiva, but remember from the previous videos that I took the Shiva out because it was giving a lot of odd performance at the Pikes Peak half mile event that was back in June. So this time with the Shiva, I tried to make it work by liquid cooling it with ice water. So I actually pre-cooled the motor using an ice water reservoir, try to keep it super cold. And as before, which I just had one common cooling system. You want the batteries to be semi-warm, and you want the controller to be as cool as possible. So I split those up. Also had serious parallel switching, which worked great off the line. It pulled really well. In fact, I couldn't hook up the full power off the line, and which means I probably had just a too small tire or too high of a gear ratio. But yeah, so first quarter mile was like a 108. I did a serious parallel switch. I have to lift to switch. I didn't want to do that under throttle. I wasn't sure how the Shiva would actually handle that, and I didn't want to blow up the Shiva at the quarter mile. Finding out it doesn't like suddenly having the contactors close and then switch to another position while it's delivering 3,000 amps. So quarter mile ran well. Based off the battery sag and the data, I wasn't getting any errors. Pulled really well, and the voltage sag, so I think I was actually getting that 3,000 amps. Shortly after the quarter mile, that was where things didn't work out as well. I got to about 120 and essentially just sat there, 120 the rest of the way down the track. As I'm going down the track, I'm like, did I set something wrong in the settings, etc. So I go up, pull up the logger. And there were actually two main issues. I was still getting that error those two errors from the Shiva that I saw on the Pikes Peak race, that it was too hot in temperature, so it was cutting back, and that odd slew rate active, which shouldn't have been an error that came up while you're just relatively gradually accelerating. I was already at 3,000 amps. I'm not doing a higher amps per second at that point. So I was getting some odd errors there. All the other settings were fine. But the biggest thing that I discovered when I was looking through the data is that the battery pack sagged big time shortly after that quarter mile. It started off at 330 volts charge, and which was good. The first quarter mile, it sagged down into the low 270, 280 if I remember the data. I'll throw up the chart like I have previously, but. Which is right where that sag wanted to be, but when I got after that, the voltage just fell flat, 160 volts, so more than a 50% voltage sag. That's definitely in the danger zone for saying that you're pushing batteries too high. I was running the closed loop cooling system, and I was only running the 2 banks. Some of the prior years I was running 3. To help with that voltage sag and give more current. So I could have just been pushing it too hard, giving 3,000 amps from just 2 packs. In the past, I tried to keep it to about 1,000 amps. I went with 2 banks here because, based off the Pikes Peak experience, I didn't think that the Shiva was going to give full current. So I didn't think I would actually get 3,000 amps. And I was trying to keep the weight down to overcome that lack of current and lack of torque. So I've got the 3rd bank right there. I went back and forth about whether I'd install it and run it. And hindsight, I probably should have, but they could have gone the other way just as well. That I didn't have the current that the Shiva was supposed to put out, and that I would have preferred not to have an extra 300 pounds in the trunk. But so anyway, yeah, the voltage sagged down to 160 amps down from 330. So again, it's more than 50% voltage sag. I don't have a BMS. I don't have any other data acquisition other than the logger for the Shiva. So Again, the Shiba in the past has given what looks like erroneous results, nothing on the voltage, but I don't think that's the case here. I think that it's just pushing them too hard for this one run, or just also cumulative damage of these same batteries have now run for 4 seasons of land speed racing, doing all the wrong things. No battery management system, not monitoring cell temperatures, or I come through and do individual cell measurements, and that's what I'm going to do here. Is I'm going to pull things out and just go through and check each cell, which is a time-consuming process, but an Orion BMS, which is nice. It just costs a couple grand each. It's kind of people watch my previous videos that I definitely scavenge parts, and spending twice as much on the BMS than I did on the battery just is something I could stomach, especially for as few cycles as I have. So, but anyway, I'll tear it through it. I'm actually going to pull out a module and then actually do a full charge discharge cycle on it and see what capacity it has left. I've got in those cabinets over there 2 more modules that came from each one of these packs that they haven't been molested by me hammering them on the racetrack. So that is my control group. They've just been sitting happy as a clam in the cabinet, waiting for something to happen. And I will do a charge discharge cycle on it. I will do a charge discharge cycle on one of these, and see if I've got any capacity loss. I won't want to speculate. We'll do testing and find out. But as for what's left for Sylent, I did a 108 and a quarter, 119 something in the half, and 120 at the full mile. Kind of disappointing that definitely had the other parts going, but it's the way it's racing. You break one thing. So I was breaking shafts the first and second year of racing. Then I was blowing up motors second and third year, and then the summer I heard the Shiba hasn't been playing well. So each time you fix one thing, you find the next weakest link in the chain. That's just part of the process. So, but like I said in previous videos, Sylent's going to be kind of semi-retired. Still, I'm going to have fun driving around on the road. It's fully street legal. Typically throw the other 4 batteries in there and actually do a range test, because it should have about 200 miles of range with 4 Chevy Volt packs in here. But this is the whole point of this. As I said long ago when I first started this, is the idea here. This was the exciting battery tester. I've been learning on the batteries, but the whole system. I wanted to make my mistakes and learn them all in a relatively safe, controlled environment. The U.S. Mile Racing guys, hats off to them. They put on a very well-run event. EMS is there. It's very safe. It's very well controlled, and obviously it's a closed course. It's the place where you want to. If you're going to test something in a vehicle, do it at a racetrack is the right place. So I've learned about burning up motors. I've learned about breaking motors. I've learned about damaging controllers, and sounds like more learning here, but sounds like I've learned a lot on batteries as well. And that all leads into my next project, because next project I'm going to keep that cat in the bag for a little bit longer, about 2 more weeks, and get to see what that is. But and that project, if you have a problem, you just can't pull over to the side of the track and figure things out. So this was, Sylent has served its purpose and getting data, and then me also learning. And I might just do some take it out for some drag racing, something like that. The Shiba, as long as I don't run it for too long, it seems like in that 8 to 10 second range, I could be able to run without getting into any thermal issues. So I might take her out to some quarter-mile drags and see what she does in that. But that's not going to be the focus. That'll be if I feel like it and things happen to be running at the time. But yeah, stay tuned for more.